Some rides aren't about how far or fast you go, they're about the little thresholds you cross. Today I set out from St Kilda, a winter ride that would lead me beyond familiar roads into quiet wetlands that all leads back to a delightful 5-minute river crossing that feels like the perfect reward. It's a crisp winter's morning as I ride along the Bay Trail past Port Melbourne and Station Pier, where my mother and her family first arrived in Australia in the 1940s. The bay is calm with just a few walkers and cyclists braving the chill. Heading towards Spotswood and Williamstown, there's something about this stretch, a mix of industrial grit and maritime charm. Williamstown itself is a gem, historic docks, cafes and that feeling of being in a small coastal town, even though the city skyline's just across the water. From Williamstown, the trail sweeps around the Jawbone Flora and Fauna Reserve, a little pocket of nature pressed right against suburbia. Salt marshes, bird life and those skyline views all make this stretch feel quietly special. Hard to imagine this was once a rifle range until the late 80s. These wetlands protect salt marshes and mud flats, connecting seamlessly into a chain of green spaces. The name Jawbone apparently comes from the curve of the coastline, shaped like a jawbone around the bay. I checked the map and I couldn't see it. Soon I'm on the wide shared paths of Altona Foreshore, big open views, salt air and a chance to find a comfortable rhythm on the bike. Laverton Creek was once a string of shallow ponds rich with fish and bird life. These days it's still a hot spot for water birds. I've crossed here a few times, but today I see many more birds than usual. I spot signs warning about snakes, a reminder that these wetlands are wilder than they look. Last time, a snake crossed my path here, even in the cold of August. It's midwinter now, but still I'm scanning the ground just in case. Cheetham Wetlands has this almost prehistoric feel. Once grassy woodlands, then a saltworks now slowly healing into a wildlife haven. The saltwater coast wetlands continue the story, connecting green spaces with new housing developments, proof that nature and suburbia can coexist if we let them. So I'm at the halfway mark, a bit over 35 kilometres. I got lost for a little bit there. Hopefully I'll have a little bit of a tailwind, maybe 10 or 15 kilometre an hour to get me home. Quite lovely here. It's amazing how they've preserved these wetlands and also incorporated housing. There's a housing shortage where we are, and they sort of blend in some recreational space for people or for the residents, as well as pretty good bike paths. Turning back towards St Kilda, I retrace the coastal path. Passing back through Williamstown and Spotswood, there's one last threshold, one of Melbourne's quiet cycling secrets, the Westgate Punt. It's not much, just a small ferry that carries bikes and pedestrians across the Yarra River 7 days a week, a 5-minute journey under the shadow of the enormous Westgate Bridge. For me, it's not just a shortcut, there's something quietly magical about it. It's also a quiet reminder of how this city changes from the days when I crossed this stretch by car ferry back in the 70s before the bridge was built. Back across the river, Westgate Park is another transformation story. Once an industrial wasteland, now a pocket of bushland with salt lakes that can even turn pink in hot, dry weather. Not today though. Riding past Station Pier and back into St Kilda, I felt fresh. 70 kilometres in just under 3.5 hours. Not bad for my longest ride since turning 70 a few months back. It was mostly flat with barely a breeze, and at 10 or 11 degrees, the winter sun kept it from feeling too cold. Until next time, cheers.